Today, we're going to be looking at double bar graphs and all the components you need for a double bar graph. So this is my example one here. And we have, first of all, on top is your title. Make sure that your title is maybe a different font or bold compared to the other information on here, so that it kind of stands out. So my example one here is grade 5 students' favorite pizza toppings. So it's not just grade 5 students. It's not just pizza toppings. I'm being specific about who I have surveyed and what the survey was about. Over on the side is what we call your legend, and you want to be able to tell people what these bars represent. So in my case, I did a red bar represents the girls in grade 5, and the blue one represents the boys in grade 5. On the horizontal axis is where you can either put the number when it comes to the actual data, or you can put the actual things that you have asked about. So in my case, I have chosen to put on the bottom the choices that I gave for the grade 5s when it comes to their favorite pizza toppings. And it's cheese, donair, veggie, and pepperoni. And then on the vertical axis here, I have done the amount of students. Now, as you can see on here, you equally spread your numbers out. So you make sure that the spaces in between the numbers that you put are even, but also the number that would be in between them is even. So my advice is to always look at your data first and look at what the top number is, the highest number on your data. That will indicate what should probably be up here. You always want a number that's just above the highest part of your data. For me, for example, the boys chose cheese pizza as being 16. So I decided, well, if I kind of rounded up a bit, the next one up would be 20 is a nice, easy number. And as you can see, I skip counted up by 5s on this one because putting the numbers in between would really cramp it up and make it look visually unappealing. So I made sure that I spaced it out nice and evenly. Skip counting numbers that are really simple too for everyone is a really good thing. We find skip counting of 2s, 5s, 10s, 25s, 50s, 100s easy. If you were to skip count 3s, 6s, 7s, it's a bit more difficult. And then people would really have to try to use their math skills to know what's in between. So make sure that you're making them even and that you're skip counting with numbers that are simple. But most important, look at the data to make sure you decide what numbers am I going to put on the side. If, for example, I had something like 172 as one of my numbers, this up here, this 20 is probably going to be a 200 then. So I would probably have this as 50, 100, 150, 200, right? If my highest number is something like 72, maybe I would have made these into the hundreds and made this 25, 50, 75, 100. So again, really important that you look at that data before you decide on your numbers. So vertical axis, you can choose to put your bars going horizontal. I tend to like that for stuff like distance, because I think of measurement of distance in a horizontal and I think of amounts in a vertical, and that's why I chose to do these vertically. But again, it doesn't matter which one you do actually do, whether it's vertical or horizontal, but making sure that you are putting down your choices and putting down the numbers on either the horizontal or the vertical axis.